Welcome to The Casting Dead, a podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Matt.
And I'm David.
Or you're not Rapey Davey?
Oh, I'm not Rapey Davey. You sounded way too enthusiastic this time.
It's such
a terrible it's a terrible episode.
I wrote it in my notes, Rapey Davey.
I know. It's such a poor way to use my name. Oh.
That's how you're going to be for the rest of this episode.
I'm going to be Rapey Dave. I'm nothing to rapey, and someone's going to catch me. I don't know.
Rapey Davey. And today we'll be discussing Season 7, Episode 15, Something They Need. Initial thoughts, David. Rapey Davey.
There's this one scene that just angers me, and it's so off-putting.
Doesn't sound like an initial thought. Sounds like a specific thought.
Oh, it's a specific thought, but initial thought just makes me angry. So angry.
Man, okay, you want to talk about it now, or you want to get into it?
No. When we get into it, I'll tell you how much I hate it.
Okay. Rick's group are the bad guys in this episode, aren't they?
It seems that way.
They kind of go about things a little bit nicer than the Saviors, but they're doing the same thing the Saviors have done.
They are. I mean, like it's you know when Uncle Sam goes up to you, Uncle Sam needs you, but we're gonna take you anyway.
Yeah, come like volunteer so that we don't force you.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's a draft basically.
Yeah, I mean Rick doesn't. They don't kill anybody, but they were fully prepared to kill people. They go to Oceanside.
I mean, you have to be prepared because they would kill you.
Yeah, but they gave Oceanside an option to fight with them or not. But either way, they were taking their guns, and if Oceanside doesn't want to fight, they don't. I feel like if they don't want to fight, they don't want to fight, David.
I just felt like the way they went about it was just so. It's like it's back at that the Walker's clothesline in the mid-season premiere, and yeah. I'm like, why would you do it that way? Why? How is that the logical thing to do?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, if you want to get into specifics, I was going to get into it later. Is the use of the dynamite?
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll get into that part later. But I'm just saying,
yeah,
as far as giving them an option, that's not really an option. You're doing exactly what the Saviors did. You are saying, we're taking this.
I know, but what gives the edge to the Saviors of them being, what could perceive them as being monsters, even though Negan kind of counters that later on.
Yeah.
Is that, they do take away lives when they have to.
Yeah, but Rick was prepared to do it. If they just said, we're not giving you the guns, you'll have to kill us before you take our guns, he'd probably kill them. I'm sure he'd find a way to neutralize the situation.
I agree. We'll get more into it when we get to it, I guess.
Okay. But I just feel like Oceanside, they've gone through this before. They've had all their fathers and sons and brothers, all the men, most of the men killed. And they got away from it. They want to live out their lives peacefully on their own by the ocean. And now they're getting roped into this just because another group is having issues.
Well, because they didn't kill Tara efficiently, and you know what? If you're going to say that the Rick's group was kind of like the Saviors, well, you know what? The Saviors did kill their fathers, brothers, and sons, so
yeah,
that's you still have to give the edge to the Saviors being notoriously,
I guess,
antagonists. So Rick would never do that, even though Rick at his worst would never take value. He still values life in some degree.
Yeah,
and Negan just values life for his benefit. That's what I would say.
Yeah, but Negan makes a stronger point. I mean, Negan makes a point that we haven't heard before.
He just adds some sass to it.
Yeah, that's true. But
some southern sass.
I mean, all Rick does is regurgitate the same kind of lines he's been saying. I mean, even a line he says to Tara in this episode is like, you don't have to feel bad if things go south. And she's like, I will feel bad. And he's like, but you don't have to. It's like, you're not even trying anymore, Rick. It's like, why doesn't she have to feel bad? Of course she should feel bad. She betrayed their trust. Just to help out another group, someone's going to feel bad.
Well, it's just stupid dialogue, Matthew.
Okay. I also don't see the point in... Now, David, there are 3 groups who are holding off on wanting to help the cause, the fight. We got the Hilltop.
They're holding off? No, they got some people.
Yeah, but initially, as far as Rick knows, Hilltop not fighting.
Well, they got a dozen. I mean, Eden had that any given Sunday speech for sure that we never saw, and got a dozen of them.
Yeah, but they're not united. It's like they're forming a secret union.
That's
fight.
Fine. That's you still count Hilltop for valuable people who are willing to fight, and that still counts as Hilltop.
No, but Hilltop as a whole. Yeah. They declined, and then the kingdom as a whole declined.
No, they're back. They're back in it now with Carol. They already established at the end. Yes, they did.
No, hold on, David.
Oh,
you need to understand that the Hilltop. Firstly, they are not fighting because Gregory is in charge of the Hilltop,
and Gregory said so,
and he's not fighting.
Right.
And a lot of other people. The only people they're getting to fight is going to people one-on-one and trying to convince them. Like you said, Enid got 12 people. That's 12 people. That's not the hilltop.
Okay,
so
but would
they
you
can't count on the hilltop?
But would you consider like, let's say like a militia forms representing a certain region, but not everybody in the militia is everybody in that region. People have to stay behind in that region, so that's what the hilltop is. Even though they don't necessarily have a leader, aka Gregory, they have a leader, but he's not willing to, so it's like they're leaderless.
Yeah.
So I feel like
now they got Maggie. It's
so I still call it hilltop. I still call it hilltop in like enough for them to say hilltop in. Not fully. It's not everything, but
not
it's
officially. Like I don't even know if they.
Okay, they didn't sign any declaration papers. Fine, but it's
this is Rick. Okay, I'm just saying Rick has gone to 4 places,
right,
and 3 of those places have said no to him.
Right.
One of those places said yes on a condition.
Right.
So it's not going very well.
No, but as far as he knows, but he doesn't know the kingdom is in.
Yeah, but the kingdom isn't even ready. Like they want to go to war.
They have
today.
numbers. They have numbers.
Yes, but
and
Rick
some
wants
guns.
to go to war now. Like Rick is planning for this war right away. King Ezekiel, he's planting tomato bushes, and he's telling Carol, "I know we should fight, but not today." So now it's going to take time. They got to get everybody.
Yeah,
on
but
board.
that time goes by like by one episode, and time flies. We don't know when
does
things
time
happen.
fly in this show?
It does.
Took
That's what I'm saying.
Whole half season for
They
them, and they haven't even recruited everybody.
They thrive on inconsistencies of time here.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I will give you that. I feel like we know all of these groups are going to eventually come around and fight.
That's right.
And
it's just for them to say that it's not going to happen until next season. That's all it is. So
and it's like I know they want they want this moment. I'm sure during a battle, during a big scene of war where they almost have the upper hand. They're starting to lose, and man, it's like Rick's group is they're not gonna make it. Saviors are gonna win, and then from over the top of the mountains, you're gonna see the holdout group, either
you have
the
like
kingdom or
the 2 towers, basically pull 2 towers.
Yes,
okay.
I wrote Lord of the Rings style, but you can't have 3 groups doing that. You can't have him fighting, and all of a sudden it's
all depends.
from the north, from the
I
west.
wonder. What would be really cool? Like if they dig out some source material, like some good war strategy from Art of War. I will give it to them. I don't think they'll pull that off at all. But in Art of War, where they have certain strategies of when you're going up against the big military, if they use that as a primary source of how Rick should go, unless it's already, because I didn't read the comics, so I don't know how they really go about it.
Okay,
but if the saviors are stationary in their sanctuary, there's ways to go about attacking one spot.
Yeah. So,
or unless you go under guerrilla warfare, which we're all familiar with, which Rick has used obviously in times where he needed to use it. And then obviously the use of the walkers. I think that's something that's an advantage. That's not an Art of War, but you could use some strategies from Art of War that would put to their advantage.
Well, what the Saviors did in the comic books. I don't think this is a spoiler because I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened.
Yeah.
But you know what? Slight spoiler warning in case it happens. In the comic books, the Saviors don't have very many weapons. They don't have very many guns.
Okay.
So they have to resort to other methods. They fire arrows.
Okay.
At people in
with
Alexandria.
bows, right?
Yeah, with bows.
Okay.
So they're firing arrows
just throwing them with their hands.
And it's it's nicking people, it's hitting them, but it's not killing people. They're blindly firing, so it seems like a tacticless maneuver. But turns out they dipped all of the arrowheads in zombie blood.
Oh, so they turn.
And then later on that night, a few days later, everyone in Alexandria starts turning into walkers, and it kills them from the inside.
Well, can you imagine? That's why Eugene is like assigned to get more walkers. You think it's to have that outpost that's right in front of the sanctuary where they have like those the molten metal zombies and those multiple walkers, and those the rest. You wonder maybe if it could be additionally for that. You never know.
Yeah, so far Eugene's ideas seem terrible though. Like, what is the point of these?
I think he's just following orders. He's not having any ideas. He's following orders.
Well, his idea was let's pour this metal on the walkers. Like, what good is that doing?
That's what Negan wanted. He wanted what Negan wanted is the walker stuck to the fence, and he goes, okay, well, let's use molten metal. That's the best way to do it.
How can we render this walker the least effective?
I don't know
as possible.
I
know. Let's pour metal over all of it. That way, it can't reach out its arms. It can't attack anybody. The only way it's going to get...
the arms are reached out. It's just stationary on the fence, and I guess you have that and the barbed wire to climb over. I guess, but then Rosita and Sasha made it in. So
all you have to do is not go towards the zombie's mouth, and you're fine.
And kill it. You could basically...
It can't come after you.
Yeah, you could even just chop off its neck or something, or just pretty much.
Anyway. Well, let's get into this, David. Actually, before we get into it...
We're not into it now? Jeez.
Well, we weren't. Before we get into it, you have anything you want to talk about?
I'll save it for when it comes.
All right. I mean, like for next week.
for next week. Well, we have our special guest, right?
Yes, we do.
And if you all don't already know, if you all don't know him already,
If y'all don't know him already,
it's his name is JK from the Horror Happens radio show. He'll be joining us. Obviously, a huge watcher of The Walking Dead. Obviously, that's why he wouldn't come onto the show. But
huge watcher, watches every episode,
watches everything. I believe he watches
14 times.
If he covers horror as a genre, that means he has a huge database of knowledge and of perspective, and we like to have that here for sure.
Yes, we do. We would like that.
Thank you. Thank you for the pause.
I paused. It was a dramatic pause.
It's a pincer pause.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got that going on next week. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, the episode warrants it.
Well, even if it doesn't, even if we have a crappy episode, there'll be a lot to talk about how much they failed.
Yeah.
And if it's so good, we'll talk about how good it is.
Yeah, I feel like I've been real negative this season, but I've been kind of hating this season.
Well, how do you not hate this season? I think many people agree with us. There's less views. There's less of everything. There's no build up to anything. There's a lack of so many things, so many attributes than what they usually bring in every season.
Oh, there's so much promise and so little delivery on it, so it's upsetting.
You have to hand it to the marketing for putting it up. I mean, they always deliver every year. They know how to deliver. Like a good season, even though it's a lackluster.
Well, that sounds contradictory to what we've been saying. Who knows how to deliver a good season?
Well, no, not that they're actually doing. I'm talking about the marketing aspect.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but they've kind of reached the end of how they can sell this show.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times can I hear Andrew Lincoln say this finale is going to be off the hinges? You've never seen anything like this.
He's a factor in the marketing tool.
He is a huge marketing tool. They're all marketing tools. That's their. I mean, it doesn't nothing against them, but it's not like they can come out and say, I didn't really like the way this season went.
I wish they could. That'd be pretty cool. I would say, that would, the producers would be like, you know what?
Yeah,
we should consider this.
Let's try honesty for a season.
Yeah,
see where that leads us.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the recap, David.
Oh boy.
We hear Tara breaking her promise about Oceanside and telling Rick they've got guns for days. Tons of guns. More guns than they can handle.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think about Tara breaking her promise? What do you think about Tara sabotaging Oceanside?
Yeah, well, we knew about it. We knew about this. We knew it was going to happen. It's
filthy beachcombers. Now they're going to get what's coming to them.
That's right. That's right.
You can never trust Tara.
It was a crap montage too, by the way. Put that in part of top 10 worst montages.
Yeah, we just see a bunch of beachy looking walkers walking along the shoreline. It kind of looked neat, like parts of the Caribbean, Davy Jones style walkers.
You can't help it. Yeah, it's a little Berkheimer inspiration.
Yeah, they probably smell horrible.
Yeah, man, that seaside death.
Yeah, you can imagine. You ever been to a beach with dead fish on the shore?
Oh yeah. Well,
you imagine living at Oceanside. That's not a prize real estate right there. You got a bunch of dead fish and humans.
I've smelled a lot worse too. I remember there was like a whale too. Like it doesn't smell good when that happens.
No, some sharks. You see any sharks?
No, never. I've seen sharks, but never seen dead sharks on the shore. That wouldn't be
no,
a good sign.
Not dead sharks. You climb on top of that dead whale?
Oh, I don't know.
You get all up in it?
Ugh, why would you get up on it? It's gross.
Fun picture.
No.
All right. Jump on it like a trampoline.
A long time ago too, though. I didn't have Polaroids weren't that accessible, I guess, to me at that time.
No, I guess not. You don't take them out into the water.
Oh no.
Sea salt, very damaging.
Oh,
to the stock. All right. So this is all intercut with Rick's group heading to Oceanside, and really, that's about it.
You didn't mention Enid's and Carl's useless conversation.
Well, Enid it's useless in the sense that it doesn't amount to anything.
No,
except at the end, Carl kind of answers the question again.
Yeah, they revisit the conversation when it's like half an hour into the episode.
Yeah, to bookend it there. So it's basically at this point she says, "Do you ever think about the people you kill?" And he's like, "Yes."
But more about those that I didn't.
Yeah, that's later on.
Yeah,
it's they're kids, they're teenagers.
I just don't think that was necessary.